Please join me in welcoming this incredible couple, Sapir and Sasha, whose courage continues to inspire us all, along with our own Rabbi and Rebbitzin, Rabbi Shiner and Dini. Bruchim Habayim, welcome.
Bruchim Habayim, Sapir and Sasha. Welcome to Palm Beach. We are honored and thrilled to have you here. Thank you for coming all the way from Israel to be with us and to share your first joint interview together since your release from captivity. We are honored and humbled. Thank you. We love you. So, if you could please take us back to the morning of 10/7 when the attack began.
So, I'm so happy to be here and to meet you. I'm so excited to see this community, amazing community. On October 7, me and Sasha planned to go to Kibbutz Nir Oz to celebrate Simchat Torah with his parents. And in that weekend, Sasha doesn't want to go there. It very surprised me because all the time he told me, Sapir, if I say to my mother that I come, I never cancel because it made harder and she will cry. But unfortunately, I convinced him and we arrived to the kibbutz. On Saturday, I woke up at 6 a.m. I heard the rockets. It was like a rain of rockets, very, very strong. And I'm saying, Sasha, what we can do now? We were in a guest room with no shelter there. We couldn't find even 20 seconds of silence to run to the parents' house, to enter to the shelter. And I'm saying, maybe we can lie down near the wall. It feels more safe. And this is what we did for an hour until we got a message that terrorists came inside the kibbutz. When I saw this message, I took a blanket and just covered myself. I didn't want to see anything. And we hid under the bed because there is no place to hide there. And then I heard Allahu Akbar. I heard thousands, maybe thousands, hundreds, I'm not sure how much terrorists came inside the kibbutz. I heard things explode. I heard the screams of the terrorists and the screams of the people that killed by them. And it's heard like they go home by home and shooting everyone, everywhere. And we just waited to our turn. And finally, they come to our house. I just remember that in that moment, I thought if to send message to my parents, if to say something to Sasha, last words. But I decided that I don't want to say words with the meaning of goodbye. I want to stay alive. I just prayed. I had one prayer that I remember before of that. And I just say this prayer again and again and again. And when I say that, I felt some peace inside of me that I didn't understand how can I feel peace in this situation. We were terrified. I was shaking and all my body was water. But I felt that this prayer kept me. Finally, they broke our door, they shut the door, they came inside, 10 terrorists I saw in front of my eyes, and they took us separately. They put me on a bike with 2 terrorists, and I didn't know what happened to Sasha until I came back. This is the story from October 7.
First of all, it's good to see you. Last time we saw each other was in Israel. And to see you here in Palm Beach, we're witnessing a miracle before our eyes. It's just a tremendous honor to be here with the two of you. Sasha and Sapir, when you were taken into Gaza, as you were crossing over from Israel into Gaza, do you remember what thoughts were going through your mind at that moment?
Well, adding to Sapir's story regarding my story in Sabah, October, after we were taken out from the house we were in, I was guided by the terrorist to a bike. At that moment, I don't even know why, I thought it will be a good idea to try to escape and run, and maybe in order to, the terrorist will run after me, so Sapir get free. I didn't understand the magnitude of what's going on in the kibbutz at that time. And I ran. I shook the terrorists that held me from my right and my left, and I ran. While running, I remember they were shooting at me, but they didn't hit me at that time. After maybe 100 meters or so, I got stopped because there were 2 other terrorists in front of me with guns. I understood I'm cornered and I have nowhere to go. So I lift my hands and I surrendered. At that time, at that moment, I got shot in the legs, in both of them. One of the bullets pierced only the muscle in my right leg, and in the left leg, I got shot, so the bone broke right through. Then I got hit by a rifle in my head and got stabbed on my shoulder. So I was a little bit in a rough shape, as you can say. I got handcuffed behind my back and got on a motorcycle and drove to Gaza. During the ride, one of the terrorists were in the back and one in front riding the bike. I remember telling the terrorists that were behind me that please do what you want with me, do what you want, I don't care, kill me, do what you want, but let my girlfriend go. She weren't with me at the time, but I thought that, I don't know what I thought. I thought that maybe if I tell him, he will let her go or something. It was, rationally, it's maybe not the best idea, but this is what I thought about. When we get to the border, we fell from the bike. There is a lot of people were near the border, civilians. They started gathering around me and eating me and screaming things like, I don't even remember because it was in Arabic, and at that time I didn't know Arabic at all. But they took me, the terrorists took me, hold me and get me inside the car, and we went in. I remember that all this time I didn't feel sorry for me at all, to be honest. I felt a lot about my girlfriend, and I thought what is happening with my mother and father that are in the kibbutz, and with my grandmother that is also in the kibbutz. And I thought that this is a black day for me and for my family, that I hope they will be okay. So my feelings were a lot about them and not a lot about me. And it was a black day, it's October.
Sasha, once you were taken hostage, almost 500 days, how did you cope with the physical and emotional challenges of your day-to-day life there, if I can call it life? But how did you deal with that?
Well, Sapir mentioned it in a point in October, when she felt scared, when she felt that she has no power of the situation she is in. She found safety in God, and it made her feel relaxed, feel powerful, maybe even. Made her feel there is something that protects her. Before 7 October, I didn't believe in God at all. I was raised in a community that is an atheist. God has no place in my life at all. During the time I was held in Gaza and the tough things I went through, step by step, I got the place to think, to reflect about my life, what I've been through, what I've done before 7 October and the event itself, and what I'm doing now at this time, at this place I'm in Gaza. And I start reflecting on my life and thinking about what is life itself. Is God real or not? And I came to understanding that there is God. And it gave me a lot of strength, believing, being able to pray, being able to find strength from prayer, being able to understand that, well, maybe I'm in a tough moment right now. Maybe God moved me in a place that is, well, it's a tough place. You are very sad, you are alone, you feel very vulnerable, but it's my choice what I'm doing with it. I can be sad, I can be depressed, or I can find strength to do things that will help me get out of this situation, to find happiness, even if there is not a lot to be happy for. Well, I choose the second choice, and it's helped me a lot. During the time, it helped me when my life was in danger. It helped me in tough situations. It helped me going through hardships. So the belief in God, as well as helped me physically, itself always also helped my soul a lot. And I'm so grateful that I've been able to find this belief in God during this tough time.
I want to just add something, and I asked Sasha's permission to share this, and he gave me a beautiful answer. He said, it's the truth, and I'm always comfortable with sharing the truth. Yesterday, we were privileged to pray with Sasha and Sapir in the synagogue. Sasha told me that this was the first time in his life that he was ever in a synagogue on Shabbat. And his first Shabbat ever was at Palm Beach Synagogue. But I know, and I'm sure that it won't be the last. There'll be many more beautiful Shabbatot. And one of the things that Sasha shared with me is that he already found a rabbi in Israel. And he began studying on a regular basis with a rabbi because he wants to deepen his understanding of Judaism and the mitzvot. Sapir, there's a beautiful story about you taking care of a young girl in captivity. Could you please share that story?
So, like I'm saying in the video, when I came to Gaza, I was part of time in apartments and most of the time in tunnels, in hard conditions. And at the beginning, I just say, God, why you did it for me? Why you sent me to this place? And I remember that I met on the first day a young girl, 16 years old. When I saw her, she was crying, and when I saw her, I felt that I don't need more than it to understand that I have to be in this place. That I want to keep her, I want to make her smile. And I felt that from that moment that I decided to take this responsibility, I just had a lot of power. I was powerful. I didn't afraid, and before the October 7, I had anxieties. So I didn't understand how it's happened. Well, I decided to be with her all the time and took care of her. And I remember that sometimes it gave me the power to make things to be happy. Well, one day the terrorists came to us and they say, this is the time to go to the tunnels. So the girl told me, Sapir, I don't want to go. It's very scary. So I told her, you know, we are in Gaza and we have to see the attraction number 1 here is the tunnels. So we go there and I'm just smile all the time, even it's, you don't have a reason to smile there. But then the terrorist told me, why are you happy? I told him, I'm in Gaza, why not? And she told me, Sapir, you are so crazy. But maybe I want to be crazy like you. So I really found that this helped the other people. It gave me all the power and all the confidence there that before the October 7, I wasn't the same person. When I came back from the captivity, I couldn't wear the same clothes, and I couldn't talk even with my friends that I had before that, because I felt that everyone tried to take me to the person that I was before, and I'm changed, and I don't want to go back. So they angry about me. Even with the parents, it took me a few weeks until I could talk with them, and they say to my brother, we think that Sapir crazy since she came back, but I wasn't crazy, I just was different, and they didn't want the other people will will change me back. So yes, this is the new person that I am, and now I live with peace with myself.
Sapir, there's a well-known story about you reciting Psalm 27. The Lord is my light, the Lord is my salvation. What's the story behind that story?
So before the October 7, 6 months before, I had anxiety. It's something that I never experienced before that. And I didn't know why I feel like that, because there was no reason for it. I met Sasha, the man that I always wanted, and I had good work, I make good money. So why to feel like that? During the time, I thought that maybe I have illness in my body, that I just need to discover it. I decided to go to many doctors. I did all the possible tests. And one of the doctors told me, yes, you're right. You have some virus in your body, but it's not dangerous as your feelings. Well, my feelings were so bad and so strong. And for the first time in my life, I decided to pray, because I felt that I'm standing in front of a danger that just God can help me. And I'm trying to ask people, well, what I'm supposed to say, which prayer, if I want a full recovery. But nobody recommended me. One day I saw a prayer appeared in my Instagram. It was a chapter in Tehillim, and they wrote there that if you read it for 30 days, you will be healthy and miracles will happen to you. So I'm saying it's a great deal. This is what I wanted. From that day, I say this prayer every day, 30 days. And the last day was the October 7. After 2 weeks, maybe, I remember the prayer. And it's very surprised me, because I never can remember things and so complicated words. So I decided to focus in the words to notice what I'm saying. And the prayer is not related to recovery. It's related to war and God, please save me from the enemies. And in Hebrew, even the word Hamas appeared there. So I just remember that I thought to myself, from which war I praying to be saved. And on October 7, I felt the meaning of this prayer. I say this prayer in every new place that I came, every new tunnel, house, with every new terrorist that I saw. And I felt that it's from God.
Sasha, out of the 15 months or 60 months you were in captivity, with the exception of 3 days, you were held alone with no other Israelis to communicate with, only your Arab captors. In a way, that isolation and being alone must have been very difficult and painful. How did you manage to spend your time for 15 months in isolation by yourself? And were you optimistic that you would come back home again and be reunited with Sasha, with Sapir?
Well, first of all, you are right. I was very isolated. In the first, it was very, very, very hard. I was craving to talking to someone, to being able to understand what is going on around me. So in this situation, in this tough situation, I was managed to learn Arabic from my captors day by day, word by word. And part of the time that I was there, I was trying to understand their thinking. What are they going through their head? How they think about the life? What is their goals in life? What the person who is standing in front of me is really is. But most of the time I were alone. I weren't able to speak to anyone else. So I was reflecting a lot on my life, what I did wrong and what I did right. Part of the things that I found that I did wrong was that I didn't believe in God. I found that while my life was pretty good, I had a good job, I had a good salary, I had a great girlfriend, I had everything I ever wanted in my life. I didn't feel happy at all. And I asked myself why. Why couldn't I find happiness with all the things that I thought that are going to contribute to it? I made a checklist and I check it all, and I'm not happy. Why? And while thinking and reflecting on my life, I understood that I didn't really appreciate the present that I'm in. I understood that I always thought ahead. I was living an hour ahead, a year ahead. I was planning ahead and didn't focus and did the right and good things in the present, which I have control of. And on Sabbath October, I understood that, well, while I thought that I have control of my life and I can plan the steps ahead, I understood that, well, it's not a given thing. You can think that you will get to a certain point in your life, but God have other plans for you. It's not a given thing. The only thing you can control is the present, what you're doing in this right moment. And I made a promise to myself that when I get out, if I get out, and if God willing will reunite me with my family and my girlfriend and my friends, I will do each and every moment of my life something meaningful, something that it helps me be a better human being, that helps the community I'm in, that helps my friends, and I try to do the right thing. So when the time comes and I have the moment to think about my life, I will not regret anything. I will say, each and every moment I had the choice to choose what I'm doing, I will do the right thing.
During the Holocaust, we found that a lot of people kind of were upset with God and turned away from God. And here, in this modern day Holocaust, we find that most people started to cling to God. They found their faith. They found God, like you. What do you attribute that to? What do you think? Why is such a difference in attitude?
And I'll just add that, as I mentioned yesterday, Sasha's mother also came closer to her faith. So it's not just you, it's your whole family.
And a lot of the hostages.
Well, I think personally that each one have a different experience and have a different understanding of what the experience gave them. So it's individual thing. I think that God helped, like He has the control of each and every one of the human being in this world. So He chooses who will believe and who will not believe. Fortunately, I got the one who believed, and God gave me the chance of being able to understand and to believe in Him, even though I didn't believe so long, for all my life, actually. Well, I think the difference is, in my opinion, that during this time and the 7th October thing, that was like an instant thing, that event itself was like a key for understanding that we have no control of our life at all. We have the control of doing what we want in this present time, but in each and every moment, something can happen, even a small thing that will change the course of our life completely. And after 7 October, it happened again and again and again. There were times, a lot of times, my life was in danger. And a little thing that happened in a certain moment changed the course from being killed to being saved and being alive and be able to sit today and talking to you. So every time this happened, I told to myself, why? Why is it happening? And it was so miraculous to reflect on it when I was alone and think, what happened yesterday? What happened a week ago when I was there? And say, how my life got saved. And to think about the little thing that changed or that occurred that made it happen. It's all the little things. So there is a saying that says, God is in the little things in life. So I really felt like it's true. We cannot understand everything that's going on. And I, for example, didn't feel sorry at all about my destiny. A lot of the things that happened to me during my captivity was a great thing. But I didn't understand it at the moment it happened. Being shot in the leg was a great thing afterwards. I was so sorry about my leg. It was very painful. But when I reflect on it, after, for example, half a year, I understood how lucky I was being shot in the leg. And the thing that when I was there, and all that things that happened to me personally on Sabbath October, it opened up my mind and my heart in order to believe in God. All this time that I wasn't there, I was in my ordinary life, doing my ordinary stuff. I was stuck in my present doing. I wasn't really reflecting about my life, about what I did wrong. I was just focusing ahead. And Sabbath October, for me personally, stopped this course of life and maybe forcibly think about, well, what I did wrong in my life, what I can correct. So for me, there was a lot of other things that happened during this time in my captivity that in the beginning I thought, well, it's a bad thing. I was so sad about it, but in the end it turned out to be great. And the thing is that I want to tell you all, that sometimes in life we get through hardships, we get through things that we think that are bad for us, we get through things that we are sad about, but we never know really if it's good or bad. Sometimes it's a place for us to grow, sometimes it's a place to us to reflect about our lives, to understand something. It's like a lesson. So we need to be much more gratitude and have gratitude to God and believe that each and every course we are in this life is given to us as a test, maybe as a place to learn something, as a lesson. And it's in our hands if we are taking it as this thing or we are just being sad about it or stuff like this. So this is my point of view about the situation.
May I ask you why it was good that you got shot in the leg?
Of course. Well, well, in the beginning, it was very painful, and my life actually was in danger because of that. But because I got shot in the leg, when I got to Gaza, I was so broken down, and they was so excited to see me. I'm actually, I don't know in feet, but in meters, I'm 1.90 meters. I'm tall, and before I'm being kidnapped, I was a lot bigger regarding muscle and stuff. So they saw me, and I was like a big fish. They got out of the sea. They all took pictures with me. They said, do that, do this, do that. And each one of them, they're coming and taking picture with me. But because of this situation that I wasn't able to walk at all, and they saw it, I think that this is why they didn't cuff me in the beginning. And they were much more, I don't know how to say it, like, they were better with me because I was very injured. So they gave me food, and so I'm being held and stuff. It gave me the time to acclimatize to the new situation I'm in. The couple days that I was scared to death that I'm going to die here, and I was scared for Sapir and for my mother and my grandmother and my father, I had time to process it all. And after a week that I was injured there, and they made something that like primary care. It wasn't like I wasn't in a hospital. After a week, they took me to a hospital, and after that, there was a problem occurred regarding getting back to the place I was taking from to the hospital. So they took me to a new place, and in that place there was one terrorist that guarded me who knew English. So I'm a little bit of English. So I managed to talk to him, and day by day, understanding Arabic, like asking him, how you say that, how you say that. Or he will talk to me in English, and I tell him, well, now talk in Arabic, in order for me to understand Arabic and learn. So after 40 days, I was with this guy, this terrorist that guarded me. I was able to learn Arabic by myself because I have learned enough vocabulary in order to learn by myself Arabic afterwards. And it was like a key thing for me to able to understand them, to able to connect, to contact to them, to able to make this connection of the human connection that helped me during the captivity to save my life. Because in the place that they need to decide if shoot me in the head or save me, they chose to save me. Because we made this connection that I'm no longer this prisoner they hate, the Zionist, the Jewish, I don't know, a lot of titles that they knew about me. They saw I'm a person, a real person they can talk to. They maybe will like me a little bit because, well, I don't know, maybe they find me unlikable. And they
We do.
and they did, and it helped me a lot. It saved my life many times because they had a decision when they needed to make the decision of shooting me in the head or save me. They chose to save me because here I am speaking to you, and it's all. I think it's a lot because God gave me this, like these small things. They changed a little bit the course, like being from hospital, being not able to go to the place I was taken from, and having to go to a new place where there was someone who speaks English. Is the only one. During all the time I was captive there, and I was being moved a lot, that I saw someone that speaks English, and it was miraculous for me because I could have learned Arabic from that, and from that I could have done the conversation and able to control a little bit about what I'm doing, about my life, and not just stand there. So it's the little things that we need to pay attention to during our lives and take advantage of the situation in order to advance, in order to grow. And this is what I'm talking about, that God planned us some things in our life, and we have the choice if we are taking it or not.
Sasha, you spent a lot of time with your terrorist captors, and I could tell you're a very deep thinker. What have you learned about the mentality of the people of Gaza, specifically the terrorists?
Well, you can write a book about it, really. The Shabbat was joyful when I talked to them, but I think the key thing to understand regarding the mentality is while I don't know, most of the Jewish people, I think, we appreciate life, we find it kadosh,
Holy.
Holy. They find the death an holy thing. They are not afraid of dying. They actually crave for it in a certain way because, well, there is a thing in Islam that's called jihad. And if you are acting according to the will of God, as they see it, if you die during this fight, you will be a jihadist and you will go to heaven. And we have, 72 women and stuff, virgins, yeah, and those things, and a lot of, food and stuff. But it's a deep understanding because the root of belief in a human being is giving you strength. It's give you purpose. It gives you the strength to overcome death, to overcome the fear of death, to overcome struggles you have in your life. So it's a key thing to understand that when you have faith, you need to be very cautious about what you're doing with it. If you have faith that hurts other people, you need to say to yourself, maybe it's not true, maybe it's not right to do that, because we are all people of God. We have all been created by God. It doesn't matter if you are Jew or Muslim or Christian or and Buddhist in Asia. We have all been created by God, and we need to understand and be kind to each other and help to each other. And I think that when you are hateful towards someone else, it's always a bad step forward. Like, you need to stop and say, well, why I hate him? Maybe I don't like him, maybe I disagree with him, but hatred is something that is the root for many, many bad things. Nothing good can come out of it. So their problem is that they doesn't feel they are hating. They feel that they are doing the will of God, and this is the problem. And on the other thing that very stood out is the fact that they are not, how can I say it? They are finding things and clinging to things in order to justify their beliefs, justify their actions. And this is the thing that gave me, like I said, before that in my life, thought that I'm always right. I always right. And I never gave anyone a chance to go through and maybe explain it.
I don't want to look at you, stop
Yeah,
here.
we had a lot of fights about it before that. And it's a good, and it's a bad thing if you think about it. You need to be open to other opinions. You need to be open to people to say, maybe you are not exactly right. Maybe I can learn something from you, a new thing, and not just cling to your knowledge and say, well, I know that, I know that. You need to be much more open. But you also need to stand your ground. If you know you are right, maybe you are right. So yeah, it's a tricky thing.
Sapir and Sasha, were you aware that everyone was praying for you, and were you aware of what was going on in the Jewish community, in the diaspora as well?
So in one of the tunnels, I had a television. And one day, one of the terrorists called me to watch TV. And when I watched TV, I saw the kidnap square in Tel Aviv. And I saw thousands of people want to bring us home. And when I saw that, I was so excited, because what I remember before the October 7 is a very big division in our nation. But what surprised me even more is that these terrorists say when all the Jewish are together like this, they are very, very strong. I didn't believe that I heard it from a terrorist. And when I came back to Israel, I saw how many people prayed for me and how many people decided to be better people because they believed that this thing will bring us back. And it gave me a lot of power. I remember that in the first days when I came back, I just cried because I felt so small in Israel, and what can I do for the hostages? There I could get a food from somewhere and to give them, and I saw them smiling, but what can I do from here? And I thought to myself, and then I decided that what I want is to make our nation more united. And I decided to go to many communities, and most of them was Chabad communities all over the world. And I met a lot of great communities. I saw that they really care for us, and all the streets, or all the tree in the streets was yellow, and pictures of all the hostages, and the prayed and make Hafrashat Chala. I was so excited. We didn't know about it. We didn't know how much you involved in what happened in Israel. And this is what gave me a lot of power and gave to his mother a lot of power to wake up every morning with a lot of energies and to continue until he will come back.
I want to add to that, really. I find it important to add that while I was there, I felt so alone because I didn't have a lot of time being able to understand what is going on. I had only 2 months from March to May 2024, being able to see the news, but the news were Al Jazeera and like that, so you don't see everything. And the other way of knowing what's going on was asking them what is going on, what is the news saying. And they always said that the Israeli people, and actually the world, doesn't care about us at all, that they all forgot about us, and the protests are very small, and most of the people in Israel doesn't care, and your government doesn't care. And I felt that it might be true, because day after day they tell me this. And I thought, well, maybe people got on with their lives. Well, it's like 500 days, I don't know, 300 days, 200 days. Even after 100 days, I said, it's so much time passed from the war, maybe people got on with their lives and forgot about us. And when I came out, I was so glad. I don't know how to express my joy of knowing that it didn't happen, at the opposite. We got even stronger and more united, and it's so much power and strength we are getting from this unity. We are united in all the world. We had a Maccabiah right now in the Kfar Maccabiah, the Maccabiah village in Israel, and I spoke in the event of opening, before opening, the announcing of the Maccabiah. It was so powerful to see people all around the world, from Australia and United States and South America and Europe and all around the world, coming and saying how much they happy to see you are alive, you are okay, caring about your health and all these things. It was so much powerful. It gave me so much strength and joy. And I really think that each one of us, one of the things that we can do in order to make this world better, to make the Jewish community stronger, is keep being strong, keep being together, and contributing in our small communities we are living in, and even if we can, abroad and bigger circles, to be together, to keep this unity that formed because of the 7 October event, and to make something good out of it, and keep this unity moving, keep it standing and taking strength more and more and more. And I don't know, it's the most important thing that we can do after this horrifying event. And I want to thank each one of you as well for helping. I don't know, I know that each one of you is helping, I don't know, the soldiers, or in this community, or I don't know, the hostages, or whatever you're doing. Thank you for your help. Thank you for what you've done and what you are doing now. And I hope that you keep doing these good things more and more and more. And personally, thank you for helping Sapir and my mother and everyone that is connected to me, going through this tough time and not feeling alone. Because feeling alone, as I felt during the captivity, is the worst feeling that you can feel. When you feel that nobody cares about you, that you left behind, that nobody is trying to rescue you. It was the hardest thing I experienced during the captivity. It almost took the hope of being able to return to my home. But I didn't give up. And I really believe that maybe they are lying to me. Maybe it's not wrong. And when I came out and I saw that it was a lie, I was the happiest man alive.
I want to just conclude with a final question. You know, Sapir has been home now for 13 months.
1 year and 2 months.
14 months. But you were literally in Gaza 5 weeks ago. And here you're in Palm Beach, Florida. And my question is, yes, welcome. When you look around and realize here you are free, sitting amongst a room full of Jews when you were the only Jew sitting with terrorists, how does your mind process the fact that here you are and your life has changed, thank God, overnight from hell to heaven, back in Israel with your beloved Sapir and your mother and your grandmother, and being able to be free? And by the way, this is Sasha's first trip to America.
In his life, he's never been to America.
So I just want to know, you must feel gratitude pulsating through your body every single second. And what amazing feeling it must be to feel how blessed and fortunate you are, especially knowing that other hostages did not make it out. If you could just share a little bit about what you're experiencing now, and what are your dreams and your hopes and your plans for the future now that you're reunited with Sapir, your mother, and your grandmother? What do you foresee as your future as a result of the harrowing experience that you went through?
Well, right now I'm feeling joy I can't even imagine. I'm in a room full of beautiful people that are, their heart and their outer and their inner self is so beautiful. And I cannot be up here. I'm in Palm Beach, this beautiful sunny place. Well, considering that I was before in Gaza, you cannot really... But even when I'm surrounded with all these great and beautiful things, I'm trying to remember to myself two important things. One is to be grateful for everything you have. Even if I've been in a much uglier place, and even if I had difficult time after I came out, you need to remember that everything you have in your life, you can see it as a good thing and feel gratitude towards it, or you can take it for granted, and then you will feel nothing. I think one of the things that doing mitzvahs and doing things that are written in the Bible to do, like giving a bracha before eating, kissing the mezuzah, doing the tefillah every day, the things that really, if you're doing it by itself, because it's a technical thing, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't give you anything. You need to do it with your with your soul, meaning that you are thanking God, you are appreciating what God gave you, all the things that He graced you with. If you see that, you will enjoy your life even if you don't have much. You just need to understand and be thankful for what God gave you. The second thing regarding the other hostages that are there, I try to remember them every day. It doesn't mean that I need to be depressed. It need to be get down. In the beginning, it was so hard for me. I told Sapir I cannot be happy as long as they are there, because it's like a weight that is bringing me down each time, because I say, why I deserve to be here in this beautiful place speaking to you, and they are still in Gaza suffering and going through horrible things. But I then understood after a while, and talking to Sapir and my family about it, I understood that, well, I need to remember them. I do. I need to remember them every day, every minute, every time I have to think about them. It's a good thing that I doesn't let it go. But I have to be able to feel happy for myself as well. And I need this in order to be able to find the strength to fight for them, to be able every day and every hour to think what I can do in order to help them get out of this situation. And sometimes I feel so helpless. I feel so small regarding to all these big people that make the decisions, Trump and Netanyahu and the government in Israel. What I can do? I'm only one person, one guy. But if you really want to do something, if you really believe in something, you will find the way. You will find the way to do it. You will find the way to find the steps, to find the road for you to be able to impact those people. And I think that you maybe think that I am special or something because I came out of Gaza, but no, I'm special just as you are, just as each and every one of you. And each and every one of you can decide that he wants to do something good, that he wants to get those people out of Gaza, and we will act accordingly. I'm sure that it will inflict and make an impact as much as I do. So please do it.
Wow, that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Well,
I just have to say, and I'm sure everyone in this room feels this way, that your goodness, your beautiful neshamot is so radiant with love and goodness and kindness. And despite spending 15 months and 55 days in the worst evil environment, you have remained pure and good and holy and righteous. And we are all elevated just by being in your presence and surely by hearing your words. And may God bless you and your family to have continued strength and menucha, peace, and to be reunited with all the hostages. And please continue sharing your message, because we living here in Palm Beach, or just in general, living a good life, we take so much for granted. And to see what you've endured and how you've not only kept your faith, but found your faith in captivity, and how you've come out with a resolve, both of you, to do something more meaningful with your lives, I think it's a tremendous inspiration for all those who are fortunate enough and privileged to hear your message. And we look forward to staying in touch with both of you and hearing only b'surot tovot and celebrating many happy occasions with you and your beautiful family.
just on behalf of the women in this room, we have a small, meaningful gift for you. We were being very practical. We know you're traveling, so we made sure to buy something small, but it's meaningful. We love you. You are our brothers and sisters, and so we love you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to conclude with a prayer for all of the hostages to come home. So please rise as we conclude with a prayer for our brothers and sisters, just as we do every Shabbat in our synagogue. May they all come home soon. Mishaberach Avotenu Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Yosef, Moshe, Aaron, David, Ushlomo, Hu Yivarech v'Yishmor v'Yinsor et Achenu Beit Yisrael Hashvuyim v'Hashvuyot. Bavur sha'anu mispalalim bavuram. HaKadosh Baruch Hu yimalei rachamim aleihem. Yishmerei mikol tzara v'tzuka, mikol nega machala. V'yishlach bracha v'atzlacha b'chol maseh yidehem. Yotziem mechoshech v'tzalmavet. V'yeshivem mehera l'chek b'shpechoteihem. V'nomar Amen. He who blessed our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Joseph, Moses, Aaron, David, and Solomon, Sarah, Rebecca, Rivka, and Leah, may he bless and watch over and protect our brothers and sisters who are being held in captivity because we are all praying on their behalf. May Almighty God be filled with compassion upon them to protect them from every misfortune, from any danger, from any harm, from any illness. And may he send them blessing and success to be freed from darkness and from captivity, and to be returned speedily to the loving embrace of their families. V'nomar, and let us respond, Amen. When we were driving here, I was humming a song to myself that has become very, very popular in Israel. And that song is, Hashem Yitbarach Tamid Oheva. 1 minute. And when I started singing it, Sasha said, that's my mother's favorite song. So an number one hit for his mother, and I said, when did she start singing it? When you came home or even before you came home? He said, even before. Sapir said, even before he came home, she loved the song, Hashem Loves Me. It's going to be good, it's going to be more good, and even more good. So please join me in honor of Sasha's mother. Hashem Yitbarach, Tamid Ohevoti, V'tamid Yiyeh Rakto. Hashem Yitbarach, Tamid Ohevoti, V'tamid Yiyeh Rakto. Ay, 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 od yoter tov, v'od yoter tov, v'od yoter tov, v'od yoter tov, v'od yoter tov. V'tamid yiyeh rakto. One more time. Hashem Yitbarach, Tamid Ohevoti, V'tamid yiyeh rakto. Hashem Yitbarach, Tamid Ohevoti, V'tamid yiyeh rakto. Ay, 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 od yoter tov, v'od 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 yoter tov, v'tamid yiyeh rakto. Big round of applause.